Order filled. Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Welcome back to the channel. Here is Trader Jan speaking. I'm currently in a trade, and this one is a live recording of trades of the 2nd of April 2026. We are in the European session trading the Micro Nasdaq, and it is 6:27 and that's Chicago time. So what I intend to trade is a break of a previous support line, a support range, which happened to be broken quite fast, and it was at if we look at the 50 minutes chart, it was already being uh, touched on 2 times before. So one time was on Tuesday this week, where the market rushed up and then went back, and this one is the return of that direction on Tuesday, 31st of March, and that area here got as well was the low of the current trading session of the 2nd of April. In the Asia session, that got the market reversed, and then I got back there from our location back, went back bearish south. So the lines which I've marked here are of special interest because on Tuesday there was high volume traded here, and the second line here there was a pullback on Tuesday up until this point here, up until 23,700, and that area here, that is actually at 23,728. The market is now trying to pass that part. Let's see how much it's actually can pull. Now, after the 22,700s, we have an area which was like just passed through on Tuesday with very low volume until 23,700 to 575. Now, on Friday, the week before, we had higher volume there, and so that's my next location where I expect some more reaction from the market. Or then the next level then would be down here, 575. So it all depends on what will the market do here. How much is the market willing to go deeper and close these kind of gaps here. So now to stay in the trades, I've switched on my audio a bit late. As you have seen the trade development at the beginning. So let me show that one here. The direction of the market is not really clear. It's actually pushing up. Now it's 6:31. We have some news today, so this one could be the push up back to that high volume area here. I had my initial stop loss beyond this level, but then during the course I found if the market goes up here higher than that, then my trade idea is actually gone already. And now since I see the push up further bullish, I kind of doubt that my trade idea is still valid, and I tend to close that trade already now. It depends what happens here with the limit sell orders. It's the market is pushing into any kind of direction, I'm tending to close that because it's just
Order cancelled.
not worth it. Because it looks like the market gets a push back up into that area here. So let's see how the market is reacting over here. If it gets down bearish again. I went out of that trade. Let's see what the results of that trade were in my magic Excel file, or a CSV file actually. So those were minus 38 ticks from that trade. Not too bad. I mean, it is really a matter of that was so unpredictable where the markets might go up and might go down. Let's see what happens. So this was minus 38 ticks on that trade on the 2nd of April. Then I'm gonna switch on once I see a market moving into the desired direction. It's clearly a short bias, and we will see. Okay, see you later then. So I tend to give that trade idea, which I had before, a second chance. Because it went down into my direction. So I should have stayed in the trade actually. So
Order filled.
I see a lot of limit orders here underneath, and I see that the sell orders, or they were in here. Now the buy market orders are coming back, but not in big amounts, and absorption seems to help that they are not getting too much power. But the sell market orders are coming back in. We have a huge area, we have a huge order here, which might help to attract the price. So always the big decision, do we go out at that level, before that level, or where do we take profit? For me at the moment, take profit would be right above here.
Order cancelled.
Just short of 200 ticks, 173 ticks. The stop loss I've set to 100 ticks. So risk and reward, you see here, this is my trade visualizer. Risk and reward is 173, and here you see with the stop loss the maximum risk in percentage is 2% of the account. So we can see on the 15 minutes chart I've shown before what those locations were here, and gonna check it again here. That one was from the Tuesday, and this one here was from, oh no, this one is from Tuesday when there was a pullback here, and that's the same area which was a rejection here on Friday. Big question now is, does the market gets rejected like this one here as well, or is the push strong enough? Or since I've got a minus 38 tick trade now, do I take profit and equalize that loss, and theoretically the market could go like endless until down here. Market seems to want to push it down here, and I'm now 55 ticks in profit. I tend to close the trade short before that big order.
Order cancelled.
I closed it now because I just want to play it safe today, and I want to get my loss equalized. There's a huge order here. It might return short before it. The market might return short before it and makes another attempt to get this liquidity, or whatever happens. I just didn't want to take the risk too much there. And let's see what the results were. I don't know what happens this morning because I did already a trade this morning, and I've seen it here. I've showed it here in the screen, and it has like 100 ticks in plus, or maybe I did it in the demo account. Might be as well, or I only have the demo account and this account here, so that trade somehow got lost. It's not in my export. I need to check. So I had the first trade recorded here is minus 38 ticks. Now this one is plus 51 ticks. So on the day we are 13 ticks ahead. And as you see here, I just closed at the very bottom. I'll paint that for my later reviews. So I don't have too much work afterwards. That was a short win with my colors. Can I actually write a text here? All right, yeah. Maybe that helps as well. Plus 51 ticks. Where does it then? Oh, here, down here. Not too bad. Let's see this one here. This is minus 38. So I'm a strong believer in statistics and in getting the numbers right and analyzing what has been done rightly, what has been done wrongly. And these things might help me to find a solution to some of my trading challenges. So I'll switch off the recording now, hop back in once there is a trade opportunity arriving, and I'm gonna search now for the details of this trade here. I'm really a little bit disappointed. So there was over 100 ticks if I'm not mistaken. So let me search for that. Let me jump into that into the current situation here. You might remember my original trade idea up here was once that value was, that layer was passed, I had a short with the targets down here. and it happened to have reached that target. So if little chicken would have not chickened out here at this level, then the trade would just have went into my direction. The trade idea was great. My execution skills were just weak. And this little trade here, the second entry, so to say, I chickened out here. It could have been a real second entry, so I would have been in with 2 contracts. But I wanted to save the day, and I have made actually 12 ticks because I wanted to compensate the first loss, and I compensated it with 51 ticks plus. So it is now up to me to decide if I jump into that trade. Looking here from a trade idea perspective, the situation hasn't changed. It has changed in the sense that we are now in this low area here, low volume area, which was traded over in the on last Friday. And here we have a potential support area since we're coming from above. Yeah, so let's see how the market reacts in that range, in that area here. If it goes down and then further, or here, look at that, that's increasing and increasing. Then I'm willing to go further. You see here very nicely that's those limit orders are placed at the magic numbers, 650, 600, 500. 550 doesn't seem to be too prominent, but 500 is. So I'm gonna see what will happen now here, and I might jump back into a trade or not. Let's see. I see sellers jumping in now here, but they are being held. So the market might want to push further down, but I'm not too convinced now. We had one candle returned at delta in the plus. I want to wait for the next candle to close and the next candle with a negative delta to close. So I'm gonna wait for that moment and decide then what to do. I don't want to jump into the trade mid-candle because that's the reason why I have a candle-based, the delta-based chart. That's I know when there's a change in delta between here, this candle here had a 200 delta plus, and if the next candle has a 200 delta minus, then there is a certain message from the market, hey, the sellers have taken over, it has shifted from the buyers to the sellers. But I don't see that signal yet, so I'm gonna keep my feet calm. And at the end of the day, if we analyze the charts, we only see finished candles, right? And we make all our analysis, at least I do that, make all of our analysis based on closed candles. And still, I tend to jump into trades mid-candle, which is a complete wrong way to do it if you look at it from a perspective of analysis and defining a strategy. Like now, you see it was a good decision to not jump into this trade right here in anticipation of an upcoming move. And the reason is simple. The sellers did not take over yet. Now the sellers are popping in. I want to see how much the sellers can push the price to the other direction. If they can, then I'm tending to jump in. If they at least open like a dominant candle, then this one here. But at the moment it looks like sellers are being absorbed by limit buyers. And that is a situation where I don't want to sell. So it would be like a price continuation. It would be from a price action perspective, it is short. The sellers are popping in, but they're not able to push the price lower here. Even though you see the sellers here getting down, the market goes down a little, but not enough, my friends, not enough. I don't see dominance. And the overall delta you see here for that candle is positive. The yeah, candle positive, that's what you see with the green bar here. Now the candle is negative, that changed to red, but delta is positive. That's the meaning of that little red bar here, or green wick, you see. A lot of things happening here in the liquidity battle indicator. And depending on what you focus on, and you can switch on, switch off any of these bars and pistons, and so it is, you can do that in the settings. And you see here, there's a lot happening exactly around that area here, and that was the area where on the last, did we miss something here? Yep, here was it, where the markets did a pullback on the way up, and now it looks like it functions as a resistance, not as a support. The market went through as a resistance, so now the sellers are coming in. Candles not closed yet, but they're pushing and pushing the market down. So that could be the dominating candle on the way down. Now a question for me is, do I go into a trade before that or after that? If I look at this area here, I think I should keep my hands tight, because it is a nice move down. Smooth, smooth, push down. Yeah, let's see. So I for myself, I think I better decide I'm gonna go here, wait until what happens at this location here. It's too short to my location. I wanted to break before and then go further down. This one is too much hustle right now. Yeah, gonna come back once the situation is a bit more clear. So I'm popping back in here. We see the market has returned back to the location we had defined before, and it is a low volume location here. This one is a nice little range of 140 ticks, so the market wide might well be trying to trade within that little range here. Here we see lots of volumes have been traded, and then it comes up here. So I'm inclined to go into a short trade here once the sellers make up their mind.
Order filled.
There's a constant pressure from the sellers, seeing it here, even though here they are being absorbed. So there's a likelihood of the markets going further up. I was going in the trade a bit faster because I saw that the stop loss is actually at the end of this low interest area here. So my suspicion is if this one doesn't work out right here, then the market might not want to go into this low interest area. Now, looking at it from a range trading perspective, the market is pushing up around against the border here. But since the market is bearish, my stop loss is at the bottom here, right where
Order
the
cancelled.
next location is. It is with 243 ticks, would be a risk-reward ratio of 2.43. The maximum risk is 2% on the account. As we see here, this is the trade visualizer. I'm a visual person. I like to see the things on the charts directly. Where is my stop loss? So I could see here it's right above the lower deviation 1 of the VWAP and right at the corner of the low volume area here. Might be a good rejection area. So I'm gonna keep it running here. Let's see how it goes and where it will bring us. There's a bit of a fight going on here, typical D candle. D means usually the market can go either or. The sellers are coming in and they push the price down. It is constant pressure in the sense it's coming, but there's a lot of absorption going on. As you can see here, there's a lot of absorption going on as well. So now buyers are coming in, sellers are coming in again. So this one here, those two columns here, they show the delta between both. So if the market sellers are dominant, then they're going to be shown here. If there are more market sellers in the market, and if there's more market buyers, then it's here. So you see, if we don't really have a lot of dynamic. I don't like that the buyers are pushing up here. Sure, don't like that. So let's see what they're going to do. It was a short push outside that range here. Does the market want to go further up, or does it want to go further down? I could double my exposure here, anticipating a re-entry into that high volume area with a second contract. But actually I don't want to do that. Too risky for me. Trading single contracts here. I don't want to put more contracts into a trade which is losing. So I don't want a DCA. I prefer to pyramid. So once there's a trade which is in the plus, and then I would add to that one. There's a little function here in the trade visualizer. It's a little squeezy here, the UI. I need to improve that one. It's called pyramid. So if it shows you if you scale into a trade, like let's see if you scale in here, then the average price here would be on that level. So that's a bit difficult to see. You can switch on these kind of what is visible here or not. A break even is currently set to 80 ticks, and it's kind of a simulation. Where would the numbers be if you would enter here or there, and would help you. But we are at the moment more in the simple mode. So the market came back into the range, but went to the corner again. So it is usually not an extremely good sign. So let's see where the volume is here. The market has printed volume here, and yep, has printed volume there. But we want to see the market maybe, pushing down here and then printing more volume down here, or even going there. So as we see, the volume was here already. Market came back to the volume and then returned again. Usually it would be a sign of the market doesn't want to go lower. The market wants to go higher because there is volume being accumulated right here. So the market tendency is putting more volume above. So from here to here. One of those situations where I might be inclined to close the trade because it gets towards my stop loss, and I see it already with a certain dynamic pushing up. Well, market is now in this low volume area here. Tries to figure out what to do. Going further up or further down. My stop loss is at that level here. So the market is now touch basing back to the volume which has been printed here. So in case it really comes back here, then I rather want to go out of that market right away here.
Order cancelled.
Just 6 ticks less, but if the market goes up here and pushes up there, then my trade idea is not valid anymore. So the market is pushing down, and I like seeing there's volume here on the way down. There's been volume up here and now volume down here too. So I like when volume is moving, especially away from my stop loss. But it's coming back, so got a 50-50 chance here, or maybe even a 70-30 against me. There's a lot of volume here. Somebody wants to buy at a lower price. So it is right at the corner there. What shall I do? I guess I just keep my hands tight. At the moment, more principle of hope that the market will push down. There's a lot of positive delta here on the top part of the candle, but the market wasn't able to push through that. That means there is a lot of limit selling going on here. The market buyers couldn't push through that. So once the market sellers are taking over and they are trying to push it down here, and they have, oh, was this taken now or was it pulled out? So once the market is able to push up here, so those limit sellers are out of the markets, then my idea is not valid anymore and I'm okay to take the stop loss. That's huge volume being traded here in this area. Now closing that's not so area which was not of very much interest before. And my trade is more, I don't know, it's a principle of hope trade. Market doesn't seem to be feeling too well in this high volume area here. It is now 7:55 in the morning, Chicago time. On the 15 minutes chart here, we see the market is moving up here to that area. There is high volume here at 23,761, right above my stop loss. Does the market want to take it? Or is the market going away from it? That's the question of the morning. Huge volume being printed, negative delta 129 now in the candle. Market doesn't seem to be either not interested or not enough market buyers up here. Here's a bit of low interest as well at the bottom here. It could go either way. Typical D candle. If the markets, if my trade gets closed and the market really wants to pull off this big liquidity, which is above here, you can see it here in the 50-minute chart, this one here. If the market is clearing that one and it shows clear change of interest, then I would try a second entry. At the moment it looks more like the sellers are successful and pushing the price further down. Let's see if they're able to take some liquidity with them. So we had huge liquidity here, and now had some here. Let's see what the market does when it reaches this liquidity from the latest trades. Is it willing to push through that? Or, oh yeah, it does. Relatively easy even. market doesn't come with a lot of liquidity. See here, it has made a move with not a lot of volume. Yeah, touch bases with that volume from here. Oh, now we see the volume here coming down, coming on the way down as well with a move. I like seeing that one. Interesting would be what the market does down here. One of those typical cases I had the trade here in the minus for like 90 ticks, and now I'm in the plus. Sure, I close the trade because it's 30 ticks in the plus, and sure I've always have an eye on the number here of the open P&L, but I'm willing to take the risk here. Then where did the market go back to? Always try to make sense of what the market does. I would have understood if the market goes back here to this high volume area and then goes back, but here I don't know. There was a high volume area here. Maybe the market tested it back and said, okay, it's something more going on there. No, if not, then I go back here. But this was already equalized by that downtrend here. Okay, that's very nice. The market is taking volume down the downwards path. That's great. Seems to be just a little pullback here and then a trend continuation. The pullback was not much of a volume if I look here right now, and then pushing it further down came with higher volume, which is not a bad sign. And we see the volume here and here. So the market is testing back, going back and say, hey, do you have more volume for me here? Okay, no, I'm gonna go further. So maybe now the market wants to go back to that volume here and checking it out. The market went back to this volume. Okay. That's what I would understand. Okay, that's what I can understand. Now the market is bringing volume as well on different levels than here. So in the middle here, which I don't like. It's bringing volume up. It should bring volume down, not up. But let's see what happens when the market goes back up here. So sellers are pushing down. I want to have a negative candle now. I want to have a candle with a negative delta now. That means sellers are dominating. I don't want to see a positive delta candle now. So sellers are getting in the game. That's very good to see. And limit buy orders here below the price. They are saying, hey, sell into me. Sell into me. Hit the bid. And the market does. Was it what it does? I like to see that constellation, market sellers here, active, and the limit buyers there saying here, come down, come to me, I want to be filled. Hit me. Market is pushing up. Don't like that. But the volume is accumulating underneath this volume here. So I'm not unhappy about that one. Volume is on the way down. So the sellers are trying to push the market down, but it looks like they have a little bit of a hard time to push it further down. One of those moments where I think, okay, maybe I shall close the trade because it's here.
Order cancelled.
I'll close the trade. That was my suspicion. Now the market wants to go higher up. Was it the right decision? I don't know. But the market brings more volume on the way up. And that is not a good thing. So one of these things where I guess I need to work on my nervous system. The direction, yeah, if you look at trade now, or the direction of the market now, it pushes further up. Price action wise, with both still valid, market pushes then down from the lower deviation of the VWAP. But if you see them, the cumulative volume delta is kind of trending up. The demand index was kind of setting higher lows, and I felt nervous to keep that short trade going on. Let me check how much we lost with that trade. That was that was minus 4 ticks for that trade. And for the day, we are plus 5 ticks ahead still after 3 trades. So yeah, I'm not too unhappy yet. It was a kind of my nervous system that couldn't cope with it anymore. So independent what the market does now, I'm gonna wait probably until 8:30 until the market is opening. The Americans are coming in. This one is just too much in the soup. There is a likelihood, and I'm still short-minded in. My mind is still short in the trading direction. Because just to look at the overall the 15 minutes chart here, it goes like goes down. So that was a trade, and I'm gonna come back after the market, and the market goes now into my direction. That's awesome, right? Yep. So I'm back here, and the market really indeed goes into my direction, goes further down. And one of those moments as a trader when you think like, oh geez, if I would have stayed here, my original idea was great. Similar like this one here when I entered here and I closed in a loss. I could have stayed until the end, which was the idea here as well. Could have, with this stop loss, it reached nearly my stop loss of 100 ticks. But then my suspicion is the market goes further down here. But it's more a matter of now this area, is this area really, this range here, is it really an area which the market doesn't like to trade? That's going to be decided in the next couple of minutes. But it's 8:13. I doubt a lot of things going to happen here. The market went underneath this area, didn't have a lot of benefits from there. If somebody wanted to push it down for some stop loss fishing here, it was not successful. So now the market could either be going back into the range, go back up, or going to be here accumulated and being absorbed and then pushed back again. So it is a market where it has a negative, this candle has a negative delta, but the market, the candle is positive, which is a sign of a lot of limits, buy orders are there in the market. So here, that area gets defended. Limit buy orders here, they want to make sure the price don't go further down. The overall direction of the market is bearish. I could have entered now into a trade right here at the border of the range. I did not do so. I want to trade into the direction of the market, which is bearish. So if I enter, oh no, the market buyers are having taken over. So if the market goes until the end here and then goes back in, then I'm inclined to take a trade, but not before that. It is a nice little range here. No. There are still lots of limit buy orders in there because you see the delta is negative, but the candle is not moving that much. So there's a certain interest in absorbing the sellers there. Somebody doesn't want to get it deeper. Or another interpretation could be that there is a belief that the market is cheap already here and the market's gonna go higher up. So there's an accumulation phase here. So the limit buyers are saying, hey, it's cheap, let's buy. And the ones who still want to sell get absorbed. Now the big question is, who is winning? Sell the limit buy orders, they might give up and say, okay, sellers here, have it. That's the middle of the range. I will not get into a trade right here. Too risky. So seller seems to get a little bit more control, pushing the market down. I'm gonna pause the recording here. I'm not in the mood of range trading today, but I might do. I don't know yet. Especially in the trading, not trading long because the market direction is short. I rather trade at the top of the range into the range rather than long from the bottom of the range. Not in a short market. But it didn't go up there, it just went into the middle. And now the market is being pushed down still. And the limit buyers, are they giving up already? So I stop the recording. Talk to you later. So the market is now outside the range. And since the sellers are coming back in,
Order filled.
I'm getting into a trade with the take profit at the end of the range here.
Order cancelled.
And my stop loss is going to be right above the
Order cancelled.
previous high here. I could put my stop loss as well in the middle of the range, which would be around here. Market is pushing down. The sellers are active.
Order cancelled.
That's too much trouble inside the range. I closed the trade already now. And what is the result of that beautiful trade? Entering at the range edge towards the other range end, and we have the result in here, and those are 51 ticks plus. So for the day we are 56 ticks in the plus. That's good, giving a good feeling going into the American session. The Americans coming on board in 5 minutes. And you see the price really goes until the end of until the edge of the range. Could have waited for some more ticks, but my nervous system told me, wanna go out? Okie dokie, I'm gonna switch on back again once I see an opportunity. See you later. So I'm inclined to enter a trade here and a long trade. If that one gets confirmed, I get a lot of buy orders here and there's a lot of pushback
Order
here.
filled.
So the market went in the opening, it went up. Now tested this area again here and it went. We now have some delay in the data here. I just hope my orders got registered well enough. It's okay. Delay is over. So the reason I entered here was that the markets in the opening went up here, went down back to this area, and now away from that area as well. This was a candle here, which was negative, and it was absorbed then by the next candle, which was positive and pretty with good volume. And yeah, that was the idea. The take profit I'm gonna place at the top here
Order cancelled.
before that high volume area here, and that's how it's will go or not, because now the market is getting down
Stop filled.
again. My stop got filled. God knows why this one, because the candle doesn't go until that point here, but the stop got lost. But we have latency in numbers, so there is, yeah. So we have that's the beauty of having stop losses, and so we can be saved in such cases. So that was trade actually against the market direction. I said the
Order
market is
filled.
short today, and I'm gonna go into a short trade here because I want to have my stop loss up here and the take profit on that
Order
average
cancelled.
on the old low of the day, which we touched already before. Now the market has the lower deviation of the VWAP. Now the question is, does it build a lower high, or does it go higher than the last lower high? Price action is clearly short here. The overall market direction short as well. There was a spike up here, you see in the 15 minutes chart, and that one got rejected. The market got pushed back down here, and short-term price action here is clearly short. Now if the market goes back, let's see what the market does in those areas here. There should be some good food down here of stop losses. Market has some appetite to go higher again. I just hope that's now more like a hope that it was more of a taking these stops here, which have been placed from the people which have made into the market here, that it was eaten, that those were eaten now, getting a little bit more food for going even deeper. The market sellers here coming in and the limit buyers below the price are getting into the game as well. Not a given. It can be that the lower deviation of the VWAP is strong enough to keep the prices above that. Buyers are coming in. There is a lot of volume here. And delta is negative. So sellers have taken control for the moment. Let's see the second try to get lower here. And the market goes lower. That's where we want to have the market when we are in a short trade, right? Market might well go back up here to the lower deviation of the VWAP. That would be not unexpected. But the sellers here jumping in, look at that, it's 300 sellers. But they should be able to push the market further down. So that's old daily low here of the day that is getting approached by quite some speed. There is intention of the market down here. And the sellers, market sellers are coming back, pushing the price down and further down. And the buyers are popping up again as well. Is the market able to put a higher? The market touched that area here, which is usually an area of stop losses, at least of those which push the market down here. And it is a good area to sell high and then push the price even further down. I am 180 ticks in the plus. I'm tending to close the trade because this one here does not smell right that here are so many sell orders, but okay, the sellers are coming back in. My nervous system is a little stretched now. Does it help if I switch, if I zoom out a little? No, it does not.
Order cancelled.
I want at least these 150 ticks in. As I said before, the market might well go back to the lower deviation of the VWAP. Market is clearly short, but here there are strong buyers coming in. And we see here, this is a range where we have been trading before. This is that huge area here, and the POC is up there as well. Sellers are pushing it out, pushing it down. Shall I go back in on the entry where I exited? Shall I go back in? Not sure. So I'll take a break for the moment, breathing and taking it from there. So results of the previous trade, it was a short and it was a plus 148 ticks, and I'm really happy I went out of the trade, even though not in the optimal space here. But I'm happy in the sense that because the market went back up there and now seems to have higher lows and building up higher highs. So price action seems to shift, or the market just wants to be in that range of 570 ticks here in that area. So within this area here, within this range, we see the market going up and down. Let me check in history what happened there before. This was the low volume area. Here, the market is dancing around in this area. Doesn't want to go lower here, doesn't want to go higher. So that's it for the moment. We have some trades in at the moment. Status is we have 6 trades and 104 ticks in the plus. So we're at an interesting location here on the market. This one used to be the low of Tuesday to the starting point. And in addition to that, that has been the starting point of the moving down of the market here. So there is a chance that the price action gonna change here. That way, but it's all speculation, right? There was like good volume here that has been touched and broken, and now this volume has been taken out as well. Now there has not been a lot of volume in between here. The next volume area is up here. If the market wants to go up there, I don't know. Price action wise, the market is currently on the way to decide if it goes higher here or even lower. I tend to say it is on the way to get lower. I'm gonna join that party. Oh no, actually my voice not recording. So we are in a very interesting location here. Price actions seem to change from clearly long to more short. We touched an area of high volume here from the Asia session, and it looks from there on we changed the price action. So if the market goes now further down than the VWAP, then making a lower low here, and then not sure if I should enter the market already now here. From the outside speaking, from the 15 minutes chart here, we are at that level. We peaked above it here for 200 ticks, and we now here. Is it now supporting? Does it turn into a support here? If price action gonna change here again into long, then that would be so we went about 1000 ticks up. This one would be the area of 50% retracement if you want to believe Fibonacci. So if the intention of the push down here below the VWAP was to collect some limit, some stop losses, I mean, then yeah, that was probably successful, and the market is now pushing back up again. If it now gets its price action back too long, then I'm gonna enter the market, and it will be a long. Now look at this move, nice little move, yeah? Of 300 ticks. So now too late to enter. Definitely yes. Volume is being carried over up there, which is great. But I want to see a little retracements before I gonna enter. Now we might enter in a premium area here. So the market is testing this area here again. Just wanted to say when this candle is closing, I want to go in, but no, I didn't. I somehow didn't feel like, okay, it is a little bit not high enough. And if you look at the high volume node here, it might be stuck there because of that reason. Now it's coming back to that old high here. Does it return from there? That's a long pathway for just 200 delta. So market buyers are in, but for some reason they can't push the price higher. Lots of trading happening here. Volume seems to move lower. The demand index here is on the lower. I'm personally, I hope the market gonna somehow reach that area here, because there was like a higher volume traded at that time. It's now building kind of like a range, 100-tick range. Okay, yep, the market wanted to go out of that misery. I would say the market will test this area again because it was a boost. Mhm. Buyers are coming in, but not really strong.
Order filled.
I went into the trade and is it more hope? I don't know. That the market is actually getting the pressure upwards, but it's more like no, it was more like a confirmation of the short. Now the market is here back into that range. Does it return now here back up, or does it go further down? That's one of the big questions in life. The buyers are coming in. There seems to be a lot of interest in trading in that range here, and they get pushed down again. Lots of volume involved here. And that's more a sign of market wanting to go down. Price action changed. Here the last candles. Market went down of this range and now pushing back up again with not so much volume. Hopefully with more success. Currently delta is negative, but the candle is positive, which means the limit buyers want to have. They're eating up the market sellers. The question is more as why the market sellers want to sell and are they winning the game. In terms of my trade idea, it is my entry point is outside the range. We have a lot of buyers now. Have the potential to close above the range. Do we close the trade now or not? There is a lot of buying going on here, 200s. but the market as well. Might want to just go its path.
Order cancelled.
I went break even, um, just to from my small little heart to
Order filled.
oops, that was great. That was one of those mysteries here. The order got filled here already. Okay, we have a little delay in the numbers. That's probably why. But this was a trade with 200 plus, 200 ticks. Now the market is retracing back. Those were definitely stop losses from the sellers. They put their stop loss here, so that might well be the returning part of the whole market now. And the market went up to 24,000. Might well be that the market wanted to get that volume here. Let's see here, this one here, not a lot of on the way up, but the demand index tells us there have not been a lot of volume being traded up there. Now the big question is that a returning point to the downside for the market for the day, or is it not? Or am I just happy with my result? So let me check the numbers. Here is my let me check. Try to find a way to show it here on the screen. No, where is Excel? Here it is. There we are. So these are the numbers fresh from the press. And we have last trade here. Those were so the P&L ticks, that's the column here. We have this day we are result wise 300 ticks and plus 304 ticks with 7 trades. I think I'm gonna be happy. I call it a day.